Did you know that it's super easy to make your own homemade mayonnaise? One of the first ingredients that you're going to need is an egg. And there's one right there. Thank you for your egg. What's going on today, Maureen? Tonight for dinner, we are having chicken Caesar salad. And we stopped buying mayonnaise, and so we need to make our own mayonnaise. I've never made it before, but Marissa has, so she's going to show me how to do it. Hi, Dobby. As I said, we used to buy mayonnaise, and we used to buy it from the big box stores, and we bought big jugs of it. But recently they changed the recipe. It doesn't taste the same. And so we thought, we get fresh eggs from our yard every single day. Why not learn how to make our own? And so you have a great, quick, easy recipe that is easy to do.
Absolutely.
And now we're just making a small amount. We are going to make it in a pint jar. But if we were needing more mayonnaise for, we could just double the recipe.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I will put the recipe down in the description so that you can make your own mayonnaise at home.
All right, so we are starting with a pint-sized jar. What I really like about this is that it actually fits the handheld immersion blender really easily. If you do not have an immersion blender, you could use a regular blender, Magic Bullet, or like a NutriBullet.
Just a hand mixer.
Oh, a hand mixer, but food processor too.
Okay.
Yeah, with a couple of those other ones, you might need to be strategic with how you add your oil in there. But otherwise, with this one, we're just layering everything from bottom to top and then going from there. So the first thing that we're starting with is one of our eggs that we have. And this is a room temperature egg from one of our girls. And it is raw. This recipe does call for the whole egg, so the yolk and the white. Often you'll find a lot of mayonnaises just use the egg yolk.
Right.
But I found that this was quite stable, and I really liked it. And the next thing that we're gonna do, a teaspoon of mustard.
Just prepared regular mustard.
You can use Dijon, you can use a honey mustard if you wanted a different flavor, but mustard is an emulsifier, so it helps to make sure that the vinegar and the egg and the oil all mix together and emulsify and stay in suspension. Then we have a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to use our Redmond salt.
Now Redmond salt is very salty salt, so should you use...
Well, last time when I made it, what I basically did, knowing that it is a salty salt, is I just, instead of the full half, I just went just a tiny bit under.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can always add more salt, but it's harder to take away salt.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna do lemon juice, and we need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Now, lemon juice technically is also an acidifier and an emulser as well, but we're using the acidity in this case, and also as a flavor.
Right. And you can just use fresh lemon juice, but
correct.
We don't have fresh lemons today, so lemon juice it is.
I actually saw a recipe where they used, the lady fermented her lemons and used fermented lemon juice instead, which is kind of cool. And then we have 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. Yeah. So you can use this is a 7%, a little bit. But you can use a 5% vinegar. And last but not least, we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup of a light oil. We chose grapeseed oil, but you can use avocado oil. I see also almond oil as well.
Right.
And sunflower oil.
Right, which I couldn't have the almond oil.
No, exactly. And this is a great little cup that is 3/4 of a cup exactly. So I don't have to do multiple measurements. Ooh. Little quick scrape. Now this was the interesting part. The instruction is to start with your immersion blender all the way down inside of the pint jar, like this. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hold it here and I'm just gonna do a quick little blitz to get the yolk moving. And now the rest of it, I'm just gonna basically wait for it to cream. And then once it has become very creamy, I'm gonna lift the immersion blender and allow the oil to get in there as well.
Cool.
So that's nice and thick there, so I'm just gonna lift it up ever so slightly. And I'm now gonna allow it to incorporate more of the oil. And I'm going slowly. We have a pressure gauged immersion blender. So the more pressure with my finger, the higher it will spin.
Okay. And you want to do it slowly like that? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You don't have to talk for it.
Yep. So I do find that this mayo is a little bit on, not runny, but just, it's not the same viscosity as mayonnaise.
Right.
To thicken it up, however, the last time that I made it, I put it into the refrigerator and let it sit for like half an hour.
Okay.
That was all that it needed, but you can see like it's not dripping anywhere or anything like that. It's just there's that little extra that is needed. The reason why I went slow as I was lifting it up is because traditionally when you're making mayonnaise, you are going to be adding your oil in very, very slowly.
Right.
So that was that opportunity for us to do that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's very cool.
I know.
And, you know, basically this is about a cup, right?
Yeah.
So 1 egg will, and 3/4 of a cup of oil will make 1 cup of mayonnaise. Now, you know, if we need to, if we're having like a whole bunch of burgers or something like that, well then we can double it. This is perfect for us to make our salad dressing and then have a little bit left over if we want to have it on a sandwich or something.
Yeah, so it's great for an aioli. I find like, for us specifically, we always use more mayonnaise when we're doing like a potato salad or something like that. But we're headed into the season where it's like maybe a burger here or there, but definitely dips.
Right. How long will this last?
5 days in the fridge is what they've recommended, up to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Definitely fully sealed. We would use one of our plastic lids, and then we're good to go from there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that I've got my mayonnaise, I can actually show you how we make our Caesar salad dressing. While I'm doing that, Marissa's gonna wash up our lettuce and cook up our chicken. To make this Caesar salad dressing, just so you know, I don't have an actual recipe. We do all of this measuring with our hearts and just how it's tasting and how it is. I'm probably just gonna start with a 1/2 cup of our homemade mayonnaise. Ooh. Then to that, I like adding like in a grainy mustard. So we're gonna drop that in there. Let's say a teaspoon, I don't know. And then a little bit of the lemon juice. I also like to add in lemon oil just because it's not the sour, but it does have the really nice lemony flavor. So we're just gonna mix that in there. And this is a creamy Caesar salad dressing. Smelling great already. Next, of course, is the garlic. Again, this is a measure with your heart. If you're not a real garlic lover, or if your garlic is really hot, then use a little less. I'm gonna be putting all of this. This is our homegrown garlic, which is quite spicy. So I've added in probably about 6 or 8 garlic cloves. They weren't really big ones. Next, we're gonna add anchovies. And we do love our anchovies. And if you're not fond of anchovies, don't put them in. So I am just gonna do a rough chop of them. And we actually usually put in both the chopped anchovies and then paste. And one of my daughters, when she's making Caesar salad, she actually will turn the anchovies more into a paste. Today I'm just gonna leave them in nice and chunky. We'll swirl that about. We also add capers into ours. And sometimes we will actually do a little soft fry on them, so there'll be like a crispy caper. That's when we're having fancy people over, so we have fancy capers. And then we're gonna add in some Worcestershire sauce. This was a really good deal to buy it at this size, so I think what I am gonna do is just get a spoon to put some in. And again, this is kind of a measure with your heart. I like it a little bit more, you know, it's maybe a couple of tablespoons. Everybody in my family knows how to make our Caesar salad dressing, but there will be slight variations depending on who's making it and what they actually like with it. So we're just gonna mix that in. I forgot that metal spoons in bowls and pans are terrible when you're making videos, so I just totally forgot. Rectified it by bringing in a spatula. Last ingredient is going to be some fresh Parmesan cheese. I've got a grater. I have grated some up. We sometimes grate it in the tower if we have lots to do. So we're just going to add that. And, you know, about that much. And stir that in. There, it's just thickening up and looking gorgeous, smelling fantastic. Everything's looking great. Add a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. I might just add just a little dollop more of our mayonnaise. We tasted it and we felt that it needed a little bit more garlic, so I put in a couple more cloves. I know there's some of you that are probably going, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So Marissa washed up the lettuce. I'm just gonna put it in our bowl. And then we're gonna coat our salad. And we actually use this Caesar salad dressing as a dip for things as well. And some more. And then I toss in some bacon bits. These are pre-made bacon bits. Almost a fresh homemade salad. And there we go. So we're ready to plate. So we have our Caesar salad. Beautiful. Oops.
All right, and we have our chicken.
And then Marissa pan fried some sourdough bread in with the chicken and the butter. So
just a little bit of crust. Thank you.
So there are our beautiful chicken Caesar salad made with our homemade mayonnaise. Cheers. And I hope that you are going to go and try to make this mayonnaise because it's so simple and so easy. If you don't have an immersion blender, I'm going to link this exact brand in the description so that you can order your own from Amazon. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.
God bless.